There is a quiet violence in how effortlessly we learn to vanish. It happens so slowly that you never notice the exact moment your own reflection stops belonging to you. You wake up one morning, look in the bathroom mirror, and for a terrifying split second, you do not recognize the face staring back. It is not because the features have changed, but because the eyes behind them belong to everyone else. They belong to the expectations of a demanding boss who measures your worth by your exhaustion, the silent disappointment of a parent who wanted a different version of your life, and the quiet approval of a partner who only loves the parts of you that are easy to carry. You have spent so many years polishing yourself into a clean, distortion-free pane of glass that you forgot glass is meant to be looked through, not lived within. You became a mirror long before you realized you had a choice. This is the hidden exhaustion of the perpetual observer, the one who walks into a room and instantly absorbs the atmospheric pressure of every single person present. You know when someone is annoyed before they frown, you feel the heavy shift in someone else's mood long before they speak. You adjust your posture, soften your tone, and curate your smile with the precision of a seasoned diplomat. It is a survival mechanism disguised as kindness. Somewhere in childhood, you learned that safety lived in anticipation, that if you could accurately predict what others needed you to be, you would never be abandoned. So you built your entire identity on the shifting sands of other people's desires. You cut away your jagged edges, silenced your sudden disagreements, and buried your authentic impulses because they were too inconvenient, too loud, too heavy for the fragile peace you were forced to maintain. Now, the silence inside your own head is deafening. When you are finally alone in a quiet room at 2 a.m, the lights turned off, the phone screen dark, the heavy truth finally settles into your chest. You realize you have no idea what you actually like, what you truly believe, or what you want from this brief, fragile existence. You ask yourself simple questions: what do I want to eat, where do I want to go, what do I actually feel, and the answers come back hollow, like echoes bouncing off the walls of an abandoned cathedral. There is a deep, agonizing panic in discovering that your personality is entirely situational. You are kind when kindness is demanded, strong when others are weak, and cheerful when gloom is forbidden. But take away the audience, take away the roles, and there is nothing left beneath the costume except a trembling, exhausted ghost of a person who never learned how to simply exist without permission. The weight of this realization is paralyzing, yet you dare not speak it aloud. How do you explain to the people who love you for your constant availability that your entire presence is an elaborate, involuntary defense mechanism? How do you tell them that your listening ear is actually a shield, and your agreeable smile is a white flag of surrender? You keep going through the motions because stopping feels like dying. You answer emails with polite enthusiasm, you nod in meetings while your mind spirals through an endless loop of old embarrassments and future anxieties, and you swallow every word of frustration until it tastes like ash on the back of your tongue. You are drowning in a sea of your own compliance, yet you wave cheerfully to the shore, terrified that if anyone saw you sinking, they would look away in disappointment. Overthinking becomes your constant, exhausting companion. Every single interaction is replayed in the theater of your mind with microscopic cruelty. Did I talk too much? Did I seem too needy? Was my laugh genuine enough, or did it sound hollow? You scrutinize your own shadow, hunting for flaws that only exist in the distorted lens of your hypervigilance. You carry this invisible archive of every minor mistake, every awkward pause, and every perceived rejection, weighing yourself down with burdens that no one else even remembers. It is a lonely kind of imprisonment, locked inside a cell of your own meticulous construction, holding the key in your hand yet too terrified of freedom to turn the lock. Because freedom means disappointing people. Freedom means facing the horrifying, beautiful void of discovering who you are when you finally stop trying to be what they need. The tragedy is not that you were forced to wear a mask, but that you wore it for so long that your skin grew over it. The boundaries between your true self and your constructed persona have fused into a scar that aches every time the weather changes. You watch other people move through the world with such careless authenticity, arguing when they disagree, walking away when they are tired, taking up space without apologizing for the room they occupy. You look at them with a mixture of envy and quiet grief, wondering what it feels like to walk down the street without carrying the invisible weight of everyone else's opinions on your shoulders. You are so accustomed to being the reflection that catches everyone else's light that you have forgotten you are also a source of darkness, capable of holding your own shadows, your own rage, your own untamed desires. Yet, in the quietest hours, beneath the accumulated fatigue and the heavy layers of adaptation, a faint ember still refuses to go out. It is a stubborn, quiet spark of rebellion that whispers that you are not just a mirror. The realization arrives not with a triumphant breakthrough or a sudden movie-like epiphany, but with a heavy, aching sigh. You recognize that the exhaustion you feel is not a failure of your strength, but a sign of your soul rejecting the cage. You are tired because playing someone else's character requires an impossible amount of energy. As you sit there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, you do not immediately find the courage to tear off the mask. But for the first time in your life, you look at the reflection in the glass of your phone screen, and instead of wishing it looked different, you simply let it be tired. You allow yourself to feel the full, crushing weight of your own absence, knowing that the first step back to yourself begins with admitting just how far away you have wandered. You spent your whole life becoming a mirror, only to realize you were never allowed to shine.